stage out on the sea.
I think leading into recording the album, I was doing a thing that I've done a few times in the past, which is I wanted it too badly. I believed in the songs, I was excited about how good the songs were feeling, and I was like, I need to knock this out of the park, like it must be brilliant. I have to be the best version of me that I've ever been going into this album. And I actually start choking things. I start getting too tight and holding on too tight. So like I stopped drinking like a month and a half before the album, and I sort of started doing all of these extra things for my health. I was beginning to fixate on a result, and so I feel like that's what the universe was doing, was just gently kind of knocking me off skew before I just came into the project so tight and rigid and determined that I couldn't be creative. And it was really hard because I basically had a sinus infection when the album started. We had to slow everything down, we had to kind of do what we could, and I just had to keep resting and trying to get better.
I feel the gaze of morning.
Feels good up there.
I should have my headphones on there.
I reckon it feels good up there.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it sort of brings a tiny bit more sweetness to it. I'll go back down just for a sec.
Yeah, and that's you sick as well. Like
Yeah,
sick.
yes, that's a good point.
But it was cool because it sort of allowed me to, I guess, like it made me realize that I had been tightening and gripping the situation too much, and getting sick was like constantly wake up, accept, oh, I'm not going to be able to sing today, I'm not going to be able to do this today. But that actually works quite nicely in a couple of the songs that we recorded early on, and you know, there was a frailty that was actually a really beautiful effect. And so once I took a step back and realized that I have a beautiful opportunity to practice acceptance.
The river flows, the season goes, I'm with it. A battle flows, the ocean flows, reflecting the mountainsides, and in the skies I'm dancing. Within it all, within it all. I can see right through me, like some disappearing curse, dropped into a wild sea, forgetting what came first.
And then this amazing songwriter arrives, Shung, who I'm a big fan of her work as an artist, and she's from LA, and she just happens to be nearby writing, and calls us up and says, I'd love to write with you. And she's calling us on her way to the airport to fly out, just double checking that we can't work together before she flies out to leave. You know, I sort of say, well, I would love that, I've always wanted to write together. And so she turns around and drives back, and then we spend the rest of the week writing and working together and writing brand new songs, even though I had like 16, you know, that I'd meticulously worked on for months and months and months. Then it was like, bam, we're just working up on a brand new song, and who knows what'll happen to it.
Like I said, you can do a different note to that, but just a little harmony on the yeah could be
okay, cool.
funny. And, like,
Do we want to do the last big verse thing as well? Scatter me like
Oh,
rain.
yeah.
oh yeah, we should do that as well.
Who's never been broken? Yeah.
Any other thing we need, I reckon.
Sprouting from the dirt.
On the other piano, like, you might go like,
Alright,
sort of like that.
Make me my own maker. Give it to me, bird.
It would be so fun just to have, just find all these little trinklets.
Cool. Can I just hit that anger line like twice more?
Yeah,
It's
sounds
gorgeous.
So
I almost reckon you could give it a bit like can I use my head? You could open up, but just a thought, I was like, oh, it could get like a bit.
Yeah, I
Just
like that thought.
And Shun arriving in the whole process really was sort of like an omen, you know. It was that kind of cool, spiritual sort of moment where I just went, things are happening now that are far beyond what I envisioned, and probably way better than what I envisioned. So just, you're sick and you're riding with Shun, and roll with the journey, you know, just go with it.
It's better every time I forget, and every time I remember that we've been here together, that we've been here before. Fall like I've been here before. Fall all around like I've done this before. It gets better every time I forget, and every time I remember that we've been here together, that we've been here before.
So we recorded the album in this beautiful little studio that Chris works out of, out near Coorabell, sort of out in the hinterland behind Byron, in the Byron Shire. And we'll basically wake up every day and go for a surf, or, you know, go for a wander around the markets, or just something beautiful like that. And then go into the studio and just be surrounded by beautiful big trees and birds singing, and, you know, a lot of space. There's a lot of space out there, which was amazing, because when you're trying to create something, like, you need somewhere to put it.